Welcome to this explainer. Look, if you're gearing up for the Loksewa Kharidar exams, you already know the drill. This syllabus is absolutely massive, right? It's literally a sea of thick books and endless PDFs, and man, it's incredibly easy to just get completely lost. But we're doing things a little differently today. We're ditching those traditional, overwhelming study sessions. Instead, we're taking all that crucial Loksewa prep material and transforming it into a clean, highly structured visual masterclass. Because here's the secret. When you visually organize information, your retention just skyrockets. So grab your notebooks, get dialed in, and let's dive right into the strategic blueprint for Kharidar success. Okay, here's our roadmap. We've taken that giant syllabus and distilled it down into 5 digestible visual blocks. The winning strategy, geography facts, history and constitution, science, IQ and tech, and finally, current affairs. Let's get right to it. Section 1, the winning Kharidar strategy. We're kicking things off with a brilliant approach to help you study way smarter, not harder. Think of your study time as a strict, non-negotiable budget. We're using the golden 50-30-20 rule here. Take a look at that massive 50% slice. That's literally half of your total study time, and it absolutely must go toward those high-frequency, heavily tested blocks. Then you allocate 30% to moderate-frequency topics, and finally, just 20% on those unpredictable, long-tail trivia topics. Visualizing your time like this is a total game changer. It stops you from falling into that trap of spending, hours on obscure facts while totally neglecting the core material that actually scores you points. Now, we map that budget over a highly structured 8-week execution plan. It's basically a stairway to peak performance. Weeks 1 and 2, that's your setup and baseline, just figuring out where you stand. Weeks 3 and 4 are your core build, really attacking general knowledge and aptitude. But pay close attention here, because week 5 is where the magic happens. You absolutely must pivot from passive reading to active, timed solving with mock exams. And finally, weeks 7 and 8 are all about repairing your weak spots and running full-on exam simulations. Actually, if you stick to this visual progression, I guarantee you won't be panicking the week before the exam. Moving on to Section 2, High-Yield Geography Facts. We're entering our first rapid-fire knowledge gauntlet. Okay, I'm throwing a question straight at you. You probably know the base number, but what's the exact official height of Sagarmatha? And, critically for your Loksewa exam, on what precise Nepali date was it officially established? Just lock your answer in your mind right now. Have it? Okay.
Boom! 8848.86 meters. That .86 is absolutely everything. And the date? Well, that highly specific measurement was officially established on the 23rd of Monsieur in the year 2077 BS. As you picture this big, bold number, make sure you tie that specific date right next to it in your visual memory banks.
Now, the thing is, we don't just want isolated facts floating around. We need interconnected visual memory. This table perfectly anchors the heights of major peaks right side by side. So you've got Sagarmatha at the top, then Lhotse at 8,516 meters, and Manaslu at 8,163 meters. By seeing them visually grouped like this, your brain actually memorizes them as one unified block. It makes it so much easier to pull these numbers out of thin air under exam pressure. Let's do a quick visual contrast to lock in 2 more global geography superlatives. On the left, we have the deepest ocean in the world, yep, the Pacific Ocean. And on the right, the continent famous for having the highest plateau, Africa. Side-by-side contrasts like this are fantastic for cementing facts into your visual memory for good. All right, Section 3, History and Constitution Milestones. Nepal's constitutional history is pretty dense, but we're going to compartmentalize it so it makes perfect chronological sense. I absolutely love using timelines for history. Just look at how this maps the evolution effortlessly. We start way over on the left in 2004 BS with the first written constitution under Padma Shamsher. Then we naturally flow to the 2007 BS interim constitution. A huge milestone hits in 2015 BS with that draft assisted by Sir Ivor Jennings. Jumping ahead, we get the 2063 BS interim constitution, and definitely note that it was amended 12 times. Finally, we land at 2072 BS, our current constitution. Following a visual line across like this, it makes the chronological order stick in your brain without even trying. Let's gamify things again with a quick leap into world history. This one's a classic, frequently asked milestone in competitive exams. Do you know the exact year, and ideally the exact month and day, that the Magna Carta was signed? It's 1215, And to give you that extra razor-sharp edge for the exam, the exact date is June 15th. 12/15, June 15th. Searing this simple, precise visual into your mind is going to save you crucial seconds during the test. Section 4, Science, IQ, and Tech. All right, put your analytical hats on because this is where logical reasoning and hard facts really collide. Here's a classic letter number coding puzzle straight out of the source material. If the word pen equals 35, what does the word egg equal? I'll give you a quick second. Try to calculate the logic in your head. How on earth do we get from letters to those specific numbers? Well, here's the visual breakdown. When you actually map it out in a table, the logical jump is instantly obvious. We're just assigning numerical values based on alphabet positions, right? P is the 16th letter, E is the 5th, N is the 14th. 16 plus 5 plus 14 equals 35. So apply that exact same framework to EGG. E is 5, G is 7, the second G is 7. Add them all up and boom, you get 19. Seeing the math structured visually like this completely demystifies the whole puzzle. Okay, moving to tech. Acronyms are literally everywhere in this section, so the trick is locking down the exact full forms. Check this one out. VIRUS stands for Vital Information Resources Under Siege. Let's say that again just to cement it. Vital Information Resources Under Siege. Memorize that completely. You know, sometimes the absolute best way to remember a high-yield science fact is just with massive, unmissable text. The entire universe, at its core, is primarily made up of just two elements, hydrogen and helium. It's a simple fact for sure, but seeing it isolated in large, bold text like this, it anchors it as a foundational, rock-solid piece of your science knowledge. Section 5, Crucial Current Affairs. We've hit our final block, folks. These are the recent national and global events you absolutely need on your radar. Let's get right into it. And once again, the visual timeline format is our absolute best friend for keeping everything organized. Just look at the sequence of major international diplomatic milestones. In January 2025, you've got the Israel and Hamas truce agreement. Fast forward to May 2025, we see the India and Pakistan ceasefire. And then in October 2025, that massive India and US 10-year defense pact was signed. By visually sequencing these events, you're building a mental historical narrative. Way easier to recall than a boring bulleted list of random dates, right? Okay, now for a quick rapid-fire round of national current affairs and historical tidbits. Keep that energy high. The 16th Plan literacy target? Set at 85%. Calicut was officially declared a literate district on 2082 Osage 9. The 5th National Labor Conference happened on 2081 Falcon 26 and 27. And here's a pretty fascinating historical fact. Antu Donda was actually named Dipendra Shikar way back in 2043 BS. Go ahead and take a mental snapshot of these 4 key facts right now. As we start to wrap up this explainer, I really want to leave you with a powerful piece of insight straight from the prep material. Lok Seva is a game of patience and continuity. You see, it's not about frantically cramming the night before. It's about showing up, utilizing smart, structured visual learning, and steadily, patiently building your knowledge base day after day. Which leads me to my final question for you today. You've got the visual tools now, you understand the power of the 50-30-20 rule, and you've seen exactly how to structure your learning visually. So, will you commit to the 8-week strategic blueprint starting today? Seriously, don't wait until tomorrow. Take the visual and strategic knowledge we just unpacked and put it into action immediately. Thank you so much for joining me in this explainer. Keep studying smart, stay completely focused, and I will catch you next time.